All right, in this video, we're going to talk about locking in but already isolated. So, there's this obsession with people that think locking in is going to change their lives. And there is a good chance, right? If you do the best task with the most ROI, whether it's for your business or for yourself, yeah, your life can improve and your life can change, right? But it's all going to be kind of subjective to some people. And for some people, it's going to work a little bit more than others. But the reason that locking in kind of seems uh it's kind of like romanticized and it's kind of appealing to a lot of men is because, let's face it, you're already isolated. And what I mean by isolation is that either you have no friends, you don't have a girlfriend, or right, you have no real connection with outer people anyways. And you thinking that locking in is going to save you is because you're already isolated. So it's like, oh well, that seems like the solution. People in life crave solutions, and the thing is that locking in can help you, right? And it can 100% change your life. But the thing is that most people do not have the will to do it, and a lot of times it's not their fault. A lot of times is that you work these grave shifts, you work at these shitty jobs, and by the time you get home, you have literally time to eat, to prepare for the next day, or to relax. And the thing is that obviously you do have the free will every day to do to work on your business, to work on that, or to be productive in other areas that are going to help you. But the thing is that people are sinners, right? We learn this from the Bible. So a lot of times they're going to self-sabotage, or a lot of times they're only going to have a good couple weeks, or for most people it's only going to be a good one day of really good momentum towards their goals, right? People are obsessed, or not obsessed, but people, I won't say love to be losers, but people love to pe- pe- people just, no, it's not even a love thing. It's that people have no options but to not succeed, you know? And when I say losers, it's objectively, a lot of people are losers, but I'm not saying this with, oh, I'm a winner, so look at me, I'm calling you a loser. No, but it's just like most people are not successful. Most people are not happy, so I'm not just placing this on, oh, if you're a loser if you do not make money, or I'm not just saying that you're a winner just because you're materialistic, but we can all agree that people are not in the place they want to be at, either financially, spiritually, mentally, physically, or even in like just having connection with other people, right? We're all kind of losing in that aspect, right? So being alone makes life quiet, right? And when your life is really, really quiet, you're forced to deal with yourself. And I've kind of find that locking in won't save you, because you'll just find different ways to cope, whether it's through video games, through all that. And you have to understand and unpeel that most addictions, they don't come because 90, like I'll say 50% of the time, they don't come because of the addiction of themselves, but it's because it's covering up an issue, right? Most people with a normal healthy mind, they don't get addicted to most things. It's just literally they're coping, and so that's how they cope. You get what I mean? It's not really that, like, most people's addictions don't start because they're they just get addicted. It's to cover up something. It's to cope, right? And obviously, like, there's gonna be certain drugs that obviously they're gonna make you 100% addicted, right? But I'm just saying that in a general sense, people do not become alcoholics overnight. People do not have that unconscious need to do something to distract themselves from reality. And I think a lot of reality becomes boring, especially if it becomes mundane. And if you've been alone for most of your life, like me, that means that like almost your whole life has become mundane and gray, right? And most people, let's say if they do have a good social life and they do have friends and all this other stuff, and I'm not gonna act like I started at rock zero. Initially I did, yes, but I did have friends and stuff like that in high school, but in middle school and elementary, like, and all that. But and a lot of aspects in life, I did literally start from zero, and I just learned how cruel and how shallow the world is. But the thing is that I noticed that even within myself, and I'm guessing for others too, it's like you might wake up one day with the greatest ambition ever. I'm talking about, nigga, you're Napoleon when you wake up in the morning. And by the time you get to work, it's like, fuck, right? And again, right, the, based on your work routine, based on other stuff, and based on other responsibilities, right, you have to put energy and time towards that. And even let's say you don't, let's say you're a loner and just living alone in your apartment, unconsciously your mind's gonna go to things to cover up the fact that you are alone in life, right? And nobody, listen, and this is coming from the most antisocial person I know, which is myself. And like I'm telling you right now that I probably maximum need to see my friends maybe once a month, and I'll be good. Like generally, like if let's say I have control over that, maybe even for like 2 months, I don't have to see people or have to talk to people. Like I'm extremely antisocial, right? But even this is coming from someone who's extremely antisocial just naturally. You still need connection. You still need friends in life, and you don't need a lot of friends, or you don't need friends in life, but you do need connection, if you get what I mean. And I mean, for a lot of years of my life now, I the most social connection that I'll get is the gym. Like literally, it'll be people like, "Damn, man, you bench a lot," or "Damn," it's like that's the most social connection I get towards my day recently, for like the past couple years. Um, like I never really hanged out a lot with growing up. And you know, high school, I would hang out with my friends, or even now, but it'll be like once every couple months. Um, and it's not like, oh fuck these friends, or none of that shit. It's not that I'm mad, because you know a lot of people have lives in college and all that, but there are people who have this thing of, well, other people are hanging out with the friends almost every day or almost every weekend, and it's like, but I'm not, or I don't even have friends. And the thing is that this is why there's this obsession with locking in and being the most productive, and it's really to distract yourself. Like a lot of people, how they distract themselves in life is working hard. Becoming a workaholic can be a cope. Um, it's like you trying to drown out the pain of living life by working. And the thing is that it's still the best way to cope with life. Why? By working on how to get your money up, and by doing this and by doing that, but it still is cope at the end of the day. And the thing is that even if, let's say, you get all the money in the world, you're fucked, because you can either go spiritually, or just how our brains are, you still need connection in life. And so there's no escaping it. There's literally no escaping that pain or that feeling, you know? You can distract yourself pretty good, and I do it um really good, you know. I become kind of like numb in a sense, which I think becoming numb, it has a negative connotation towards it, but being numb to me is like not expecting anything. Just controlling what I can control, but not expecting anything. And I think that's honestly helped with life. Yeah. But I find myself, and I know you do as well, but I find myself, and I know other people find themselves craving destruction. And what I mean by that is like kind of like killing my old identity, or killing my current self to be the self that I see in my head. And I think the best way to do this is through my philosophy, called evolution. Now, obviously, I know a lot of my videos, I'll talk about my philosophy a lot, and I don't want to become like this is a repetitive thing of my philosophy. But you know, again, I am starting out on this channel, and I do want people to drill in their heads that evolution is the only way to change their lives. But just to give a quick breakdown, I'm not gonna go that deep, but it's just most people do not change unless they hit rock bottom. So the three-way people change is through trauma, right? Good or bad, but usually it's bad because it's trauma, right? Through chaos, where instead of waiting to change, you go towards the trauma, you go towards traumatizing things, right? In order to change yourself, right? And obviously, the best way it would be in positive things, right? So use your brain. Just like how I always use the same uh like like kind of like prescription for most people is for most young men is to move out the parents' crib, right? And I'm not saying it's gonna not it's gonna change your life 100%, but it is gonna man you up in the sense of you're paying your own bills. You're kind of going through a masculinization process, right? Where you're away from your parents, you're away, and you're just dealing life with, on your own. Because a lot of people who don't grow up alone, they haven't realized how to be alone or how to cope with being alone or how to be comfortable with being alone. Because I'm going to tell you right now, obviously I've listed things that being alone has done to me and has done to others, but I am comfortable living being alone. You get what I mean? Now you can't fight the spiritual need, right? Which is always going to come through Jesus Christ, but and you can't fight the physical chemical need. It's always going to be there because that's how we humans are designed. But I don't wake up happy or depressed. I wake up how I am, right? Which people is like, oh, that's going to be something you aspire to. No, it's how life is, right? And if you're chasing emotion, it's always going to come with a dip. You should want to be neutral. You could build from neutral. You could build your life in a neutral place, right? And the third way is going to be momentum, which is basically things that keep you in a state of winning, or things that keep you in a good state, right? Like how people say, oh, you get like a runner's high or stuff like that. It's just basically habits or things that keep you comfortable and happy in a sense, right? But yeah, I see a lot of men are craving destruction, and that's why locking in has become like the solution, because it's like, oh, it's not destruction, but it gives you a solution of how to change your life or how to change your 1x. When the results of locking in, well, it's gonna give you good results because obviously you're working on productive stuff, right? But it's all gonna be subjective to certain people, right? It's gonna work better for others, and that it's gonna work better for other people than maybe you, right? And the thing is also, the more you lock in, it will give you a sense of control and stability in your life, but you're always gonna crave that need of connection, and you're always gonna crave the deep human desires, right? I'm telling you right now, the best way to be kind of more comfortable with being alone is having either external validation. So to summarize this, it's going to come from oxytocin, dopamine, and serotonin. If you have really good levels of this, naturally you're going to cope better with being alone, right? But if you don't already have these at a high level, locking in or being alone, it's going to be way worse than you think it is, right? And the reason why is because how many people tell themselves they're going to lock in, but they immediately go back to bad habits? It's not always just because of low discipline or a low will, which, technically it is, right? But it's because you're still coping. There is no solution. I can give solutions with chaos, with, moving out your parents' crib or forcing destruction upon yourself to change, but there's always a chance that you won't make it. And for me, I'm always going to give the self-improvement advice, and I'm always going to give the advice that I want others to hear and I want others to take, because I always do. I will always want to see you succeed. I want you to see yourself. I want people to be their best selves, right? But I'm not going to give no fake news. This is how life is. But anyways, guys, this has been Los, and I catch you on the next one. Subscribe, motherfucker. Hey, nigga, subscribe. I'm watching you right now, nigga. Do it. I'll catch you.